Amen. Alright, okay. So, you guys are all complete geniuses when we were talking about Isaiah. You are going to... Alright. You remember how this book is broken up?
There's 3 parts.
Okay? You can have 2 or 3 major parts. Okay, the first parts, chapters 1 to 39, basically the theme of what? Judgment, condemnation, something that's going to say, okay, there's a lot of bad stuff, but while we're still busy going through it, you read a lot of stuff about the Messianic age, you read a lot of stuff about, okay, some really pretty things, but generally the theme is judgment, condemnation, okay? And from chapters 40 to 66, deliverance, okay? We're going to be looking at those things, alright? One thing we need to remind ourselves before we get started is that Isaiah is not in complete chronological order. Okay? So if you're going to read it from chapter 1 to chapter 66, it's going to be all very wonky. Right? Some things you're going to be looking at in chapter 17 apply half to a section back, or in some apply to something that's going to happen forward in a normal chronological timeline. Okay? Isaiah is also a collection of scrolls. Alright, remember, there are certain things where he's dealing with specific people at specific times. Remember your notes, how long was he a prophet for, more or less?
It was like, sure, it was probably about 40 years or something.
Check your notes.
66. I've got 66 years.
What?
Because he went through those kings, those 4 kings.
66 chapters. Right? So it's a possibility, and you're looking at about 50 odd years, maybe 60 years, that he was actually prophesying over which kings? How many different kings?
5.
Amen.
Yeah, the Greek. Uzziah, which is the Greek king. Jotham, which is also a Greek king. Ahaz, which is bad. Hezekiah, which is a good king. And Manasseh, which was
Okay. Manasseh, remember we said is a maybe in that line. Alright? Remember, Yeshayahu Isaiah was what to King Uzziah?
I'm sorry, who did that, right?
Grandson. No, he was grandson of King Joash.
He was basically what I want to remind. He was part of the royal court. Remember, that would explain why he can keep on walking into certain kingdoms and all the kings, and he'd have the kings here, and he'd be able to make his prophecy time and time and time again. Alright. I did some more research on this, so I'm going to write down some notes just for you guys. Okay, there's basically 8 different collections of scrolls here. Okay? 1, 2, 3.
You don't tell me you're going to go off your bigger board as well.
So how can I head this? Isaiah history or Isaiah?
Yeah, you can put this down as in Isaiah scroll outline.
Oh, you got a real book.
Yeah, I wouldn't have noticed this. Did you not notice this? I literally see
I noticed as soon as I walked in, I was like, hey,
Some people are
I guess I
late.
can help it up.
It's getting graduate as well.
because you're a lecturer, it's like, wow. It's like, must we draw
To
this?
get you decent.
I did, but it's not reading it.
Why don't you use a decent text?
Let me see which one it is.
It was a black one, it's very nice.
This one?
The movie producer needs
Right.
you to do that.
Yes. Okay, we've got condemnation and we've got...
Oh, there's the stuff.
Do we need to make all these blockies before?
You don't have to.
Well,
Right, remember what I said, 1 part, 2 parts, right? So this is from chapter 1 to chapter 39,
See, now you can read that.
40, 66. Okay? Now these parts are going to be broken up into further, okay? So as we will have noticed that when you start reading things, you're going to different sections. You know, one section is making a proclamation to Israel. Then he's making a proclamation about his call. Then he was making a proclamation about, we went into the section now that we're in that is talking about to the different nations. Okay, so just to help tie this up, Isaiah is made up in not chronological order, but more in topics. Okay, so when it starts talking about a specific topic, it's going to fit into a certain portion. That doesn't mean it actually happened at that time. Yeah?
If you want something, you can fill the breakdown.
Of? Yeah. You can add to whatever you like. Okay? So we've got block 1. Okay? This is basically talking about Judah and Jerusalem.
Why didn't you go this the first time? It would have been easier.
As
I
well.
would have understood it more.
Okay?
Don't
This is
pretend,
from-
Shawnee. Nobody understands.
This is from chapter 1 to
Of
4.
course, Shawnee.
Okay?
What would happen in the easy section?
Yeah. You're getting the outline again.
Yes.
Otherwise, I just ask you what you're talking about. Alright? This is one talking about the other nations in relationship to Israel.
Yes, in space.
Okay? You're going to have to redo this. Okay, that's chapter 13 to 23. Right? You notice what chapters are going on? Okay, so you notice we spoke about Edom, we spoke about Moab, we're talking about Egypt, you're talking about different kingdoms now and what they've done into relationship with Israel, as well as the background of looking at kings, etc. Okay? 3, we're looking at chapters 24 to 27. You can call, I'm going to steal the same guys. Heading. Okay, Isaiah's apocalypse. Basically, doom and gloom. Okay, the end times, things that are going to fall into place. Alright? 4, looking at 28 to
This makes us photocopies and then.
Vince makes you name because he wants it right now. Okay, we're looking at the fall of the Northern Kingdom. Northern. Okay.
That was when Syria. Wow.
Okay, Assyria and those sort of things. Now this is general because we can have things alluding to what Assyria is going to do to Pharaoh and Ashdod in tonight's portions, right? So these are generalizations, but certain things will overlap, okay? For the Northern Kingdom. If you want to take a look at this, at other books we looked at around this region, when we studied the books of Amos, Hosea, Micah, were all contemporary writers to the same thing. Remember how they sort of quoted each other, and Isaiah is going to be using quotes from certain people, and they use quotes, and we don't know exactly sure sometimes who said what first. Okay? It gives us a basic breakdown. Okay? 5 is 36 to 39. Okay, here we start talking about Hezekiah's reign. And Syria with Jerusalem.
Big ceremony, but
Got their money. Yes, got their funds in it. Right. Part 6, 40, 48. Songs of Messiah. This is basically the section that we start talking about poetry alluding to Mashiach, alright? 3 different parts. One is actually in this section. Yeah. 42 songs of Messiah, 6. 6. Sorry. That's it. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to put this in a different place.
seven's Messianic?
Messianic doctrine, documentation is awesome. Right? Visions. Admonitions to obey, things that you should do. Okay? When you start looking at the songs of the Messiah, that actually overlaps some from 6, some from 7. You're going to have 3 different ones. Okay? Chapters 42, verses 1 to 7, plus minus. Chapter 49, verses 3 to 7. 50, verses 4 to 10. And 2. Chapters 52 and 53. Okay.
Easiest way to do it.
What I was going to say, just take a photo.
Can you WhatsApp the pictures? Community.
I tell you, you ask Russell or something, we'll make you go to the one back it up, it's like chicken, just stick it with us.
I'll take pictures.
Focus, man.
Okay, that's good.
Right.
Have you decided that?
No, I agree from
Some other things we're going to have to look at.
Notes for your disciples.
Just pages 42 and 48 in the manual. Right.
Messianic docs, okay.
Docs, documentations. Okay? Like ideas of things about Messianic things.
That was just me very much.
Okay? A lot of the stuff that we get through, like I say, there was something like in the New Testament, Isaiah is linked to, is mentioned 66 times in the 4 Gospels. Okay? Now, interesting, right? What's it? 66 times.
Because it's 66 chapters.
And there's 66 chapters.
66 chapters and 66 books in the Bible.
66.
We can- It's fun.
Being the man, eh?
Yeah.
66.
And yeah, so there's going to be sections that you're going to be talking about that are going to be overlapping. The nice thing about what you guys all like completely geniuses about is that you've done through Kings and you've gone through Chronicles, so that you have a basis already what was going on in the background. So when you know about the kings and the kingdoms and the issues and what was going on, you're already alluding to what is prophesying about and already trying to draw the pictures. This was happening here, this is going to overlap here, this is what we're going to be looking at, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It's 4 a day.
Obey. Obey servant.
Yes?
Servant.
Servant. A servant. Obey the servant.
Okay.
Okay.
Servant of God, obey. Let me do this. Is that better for you?
Yes.
Right, and then it's the same, you will understand.
That's like,
You
Look, that's not what I'm
Right. Tell me more or less. One drop in it, when you guys wait.
they've all got the WhatsApp just.
I'll take it. There's like sending everybody.
Thanks, Dave.
Alright. One of the things that is also going up. So we need to understand that you're looking at different English. You've got to understand that this is not in chronological order, it's in topical order. So when we start looking at these sort of things, you've got to see these are roughly a breakdown of the 8 different types of scrolls that make up what we call the book of Yeshayahu, Isaiah. Alright? So this is why when one section, you remember in the beginning, all of a sudden we were talking about this is going to happen, this is what's going on, this is what, and then the next thing he's talking about his sons and his call. Surely the call should have happened, which happened in chapter. When did Isaiah at that moment with God?
From 4 something. He said something about his wife going do this, not this.
Remember he's standing there, he's in the presence of God and he says, woe is me, I'm an unclean man.
Isn't that chapter 2?
I don't know. Unclean man with unclean lips, laying waste unclean people, and then they altered. The angel took some tongues from the altar, picked up the coals, went to his mouth. Right? When did that happen? You know, the two nice Bibles that have the subheadings. Have a supposed should happen maybe chapter 1, chapter 2. Doesn't. When does it happen?
Okay, that's all right.
Is it 50 something?
What?
No.
You've read this. We're not in chapter 15. Just pointing it out.
Yes.
Chapter 6, right? So all of a sudden, in the midst of dealing with Judah and Jerusalem, God calls the prophet, but you've already got him bringing in indictments against Judah and Jerusalem even before he's called. Makes no sense. Okay? So when we start looking at this book, and we're going to break this down, okay? The nice thing is you guys went down and you did your own little breakup in the beginning, and you told me the different sections and different parts, and where these things fall, and that's a form. There's a lot of information in this. This is just going to help us better categorize where and what we're talking about in what sections of the book, instead of just the broad section of 1 to 39. Depending on where you got your information, there might be a little bit of a break. Instead of 2 parts, they have 3 parts. So it'll be like 1 to 36, for example, 36 to 40, and then from 40 to 66, depending on how they break up the book. Alright? Generally speaking, this is how it's set out. But what we need to look at is different scrolls for different sections at different times. Yeah? So when you open up the book and we need to look at these sort of things, and now all of a sudden he was dealing with this thing, then he was called, then he is dealing with this, we're starting to look with what the other nations have done in relationship to Israel, and we're in the section where God is holding them accountable for things that they have done. The background to those stories are laid out in Kings and Chronicles. Makes sense? Like the Edomites. What were they doing to go through this? Another thing I'm going to ask you, is Isaiah, Yeshayahu, where does he fall more or less in the chronological timeline in the listing of the prophets? Is he of the first prophets in the normal traditional broken up of the Tanakh? Or is of what is called the latter prophets? Who were the first prophets? When you break up on your Bible, remember we spoke about the term Tanakh. Okay, Torah, Nevi'im, Ketuvim. Right? Okay? After Torah, the first couple of prophets he started breaking up because Torah is the first one.
Samuel.
Joshua, Samuel, Kings, those are the books of the first prophets. Then you start going into the major 4 and the minor prophets, which would be early or later.
Ezekiel. It will be later on.
Later prophets. Right, so it's happening after the kingdom is formed and taken shape and broken up.
Because you've got judgments coming upon them.
Just before the exile and the writings of Ezekiel. Okay? So we need to understand when you look at your time. Do you want to add anything to this?
I think that's, mine is broken up a little bit differently in pieces, and it seems to take. I think he's concentrating on the guy that did the commentary on stuff like. Sorry guys.
That's awesome. You see, it's not chronological order, it is.
Topic. So, specific topic, specific scroll. So they kind of grouped it in, oh, okay, but he's talking to the nations, so let's take all of that and stick it in one scroll. Okay? Remember, we open up our book and we go, oh, page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember, everything was broken up into different scrolls. So if you were going to look at Daniel, and remember, Isaiah is talking to a king, and he'll say, here is what the Lord says. Someone writes it down. This is what it says. Keep that scroll as a witness against you. Read it out to Israel, because this doesn't just concern you, king, it concerns all of Israel. And they read it out, and then they take that scroll and then they store it. And then 5 years later, it comes up to maybe a different king. This is what the Lord says, and that is recorded and rolled up and kept. So when to study Isaiah, we looked at different timelines, different sections in his life, and he made different proclamations to different kings for different reasons.
It was interesting, there's only 2 of the 5 kings that he lives through.
Generally.
Well, I mean, if you look at Hezekiah, he was very good king. Uzziah was also a very good king, except that he got full of himself and then got leprosy. Overall, he was.
Overall, we go, yes, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. But every single one of them make mistakes, and one bishop or four. It's just general. And when they do make a mistake, God goes, wait, king, you are the one that's supposed to be holding the nation accountable. You are the one that's supposed to teach them to rely on you, so you're the one that needs to strengthen them. So you're the one that gets the rebuke. And he uses someone who has quick access in and out of the court, because his family is of royal lineage, he can come in. And he knows how the courts work and everything like that, and you'll be able to sit and say, listen, this is what the rule is. Okay? It's almost like a similar setup to Moshe. He knew the Egyptian court system, he knew how Pharaoh worked, what was operating, and all the rest of it. And God uses that foundation which was laid to be able to walk into someone and say, okay, this is how things are going to form. What I like about that is God uses where he finds you. Just think for a second that all the prep work God did in your life before you came up to him and, okay, now I'm being baptized and everything past is now gone. God says, I'm going to use what you learned there. True, all your sin and condemnation and all of that old creation is gone, but I'm going to build on top of what you already know and I'm going to make it something great. Okay? Moses trained, taught, built up thoroughly as an Egyptian. His heart needed to be changed into a shepherd. That he used the court system and everything, what he understood, what he knew, what he was going up against. To be able, God used that to be able to bring him to a higher calling.
Needed that foundation.
Needed that foundation. So when you look back at your life, it's funny enough that God uses those things to build you up into what he wants you to do with it. You know, it's very evident, even in my life. I didn't like doing public speaking. Learned to have self-confidence after doing the whole martial arts thing, and then our sensei told us to go and demo and go and teach, you know, to the point where it was teaching a little bit in class, then it was demoing when he wasn't around taking classes, and then it was, do me a favor, I've got 300 people, they don't know anything, I'm holding a conference at Stanton Convention Center, you and your buddy go and beat each other up and do some demos. So they don't know us from a bar soap. We have to get up there and say, okay, look, this is where we are, this is what we're doing, this is what you're doing in this situation, this is what we need you to be taking care of. And he actually built up, not confidence in myself, but confidence in what I knew. To get to the point where I could stand up and comfortably talk about what I was comfortably talking about. And he used that foundation to say, okay, look, you know this to be true. You know this works. Okay? This is a good system, you believe in it, blah, blah, fish. Then he took that model, took me to Israel, poured himself in, moved the rest out of the way. He says, is this truth or not? Yes, it is. Are you confident that this is truth? Yes, I am. It's okay. Study it, know it, and teach it. But everything was laid down for its purpose. He uses the way he made you and gave those gifts to get you to a specific place. Alright? Any thoughts, any questions?
Yes, Mandy was saying something.
Yes.
Oh no, I just thought it was nice the way he put it there, 40 to 48.
Yeah?
He actually says that it's the greatness of God that hold them.
Alright.
That's how this.
Because he's busy comforting the exiles and telling them, okay, you're going to be exiled for a time, but you're going to come back, and don't worry, everything's going to be okay, then he's going to take care of you, and this is going to be fine, but there's something to look forward to in a sense. Okay. So we're going to jump all the way up to chapter 17. And I want you to try and break it down. You're going to look at the who, what, where, why scenario. What I like about the way these chapters are broken up generally is it's specific indictments against specific people, specific times, specific problem. Okay? I go up to Michael and I say, Michael, you naughty little poop pants. You did this and this and this and this. Don't you ever do that. And then I write it down and I put it down and then I come back and I talk to Kevin. 3 years later, stinky butt, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. We wrote it down, we put it back together. And then I go to Shawnee, oi, you obviously lost your mind.
Why is she not going to be pencils stinky bags?
But I have lost my mind.
She lost her mind. I rather just bought.
So you're crazy pants.
Alright? I cannot take a look and if I read the 3 of them in line, then I'm going to think it's all the same situations. Each one has its individual issues with individual problems, individual fears, individual mistakes. Okay? To get us to the point where we can soon understand the entire thing. Alright? So the first one, chapter 17, the Damascus pronouncement is my first line. So, you're talking to who?
People of Damascus.
People of Damascus, right? Are you guys, can I have this space? I need more space. Who knew?
The Damascus what?
Pronouncement.
I told you, don't use the blue coating.
It's
The
just
curtain
second
doesn't
photo
matter.
is paper and then zinc.
That's what she
She's
said.
That's what she said.
Oh, his paper.
Okay.
You said.
So we're looking at,
No, but you should say the first
Oh.
paper.
sorry, before we get there, the section that I wrote there, servant of God. Okay?
Yeah.
What is the word for servant in Hebrew? I just wrote it down, I just wrote it off for a bit. Okay, right, okay. When it talks about the servant of God, you will find that it's generally talking, it could be 1, 2, or 3 different meanings. Okay? I know, that's lost me. 1 or 2 or 3 different meanings, alright? 1, please write this down in your notes.
We're talking about the servant.
Servant of God. When he talks about the servant of God, he will say, and the servant of God was told to do this. Okay? Well, that servant of God, first one could be Isaiah himself. Okay? Second time, and he'll say, the servant of God went and was crucified, or he was, what does it say in 53? He was, yes, talking about by his stripes we are healed. He was bruised for our transgressions, he was pierced for our sins.
Yes, that's the
Okay? Then he's talking about, but he uses, he might use the term servant of God. So he's not talking about Isaiah, because Isaiah was obviously not crucified. Okay? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. We're going to have to burn the book of t-shirts.
I'm going to show you the bed.
You're having your blue cake cookies.
Please do. Alright? So one section, it could be talking about Yeshua. One section, it could be talking about himself.
But isn't it, I don't know, maybe I'm just not making sense right now, but isn't it, I find that Isaiah is the only chapter that really, well, chapters that really tell you more about Yeshua, other than...
It does. You must understand, we need to, what makes it difficult, what makes it easier for us because we're looking back from a believer standpoint, and we're coming back and we're going, okay, you see how this actually talks about Messiah. Alright, but we need to also take into consideration if you were just a believer in this time, and he says that the servant of God says, you're alluding to something that they have not seen. Okay? Quoting Isaiah about Yeshua could mean one of 3 different things when it talks about the servant of God. Okay? Could be them, it could be the servant, it could be Isaiah himself or any other prophet, or it could be Israel, a nation, man, people. Okay? So, he, in their context, will break down certain things slightly differently to the way we do. Alright? So just, as I mentioned, we need to just keep that in the back of our mind so that when we go through it, we can just sort of highlight what's going on. Alright? So, we're talking about Damascus. Damascus is where?
At the top, right corner.
Sorry, you said it could be three: Isaiah, Yeshua.
Or Israel. Damascus. Right. Okay, so we're looking at Damascus. Alright? I tell you what, I'm going to let's read through it, and then I want you guys to try and break down the highlight for me and see where you think this could go. Behold, Damascus shall cease to be a city, it shall become a heap of ruins. The towns of Arul shall be deserted, there shall be a place for flocks, to lie down with none disturbing. Fortresses shall cease from Ephraim, and sovereignty from Damascus. The remnant of Aram shall become like the mass of Israelites, declares the Lord. In that day the mass of Jacob shall dwindle, and the fatness of his body become lean. After being like the standing grain harvested by the reaper, who reaps ears by the armful, he shall be like the ears that are gleaned in the valley of Rephaim. Only gleaning shall be left of him, as when one beats an olive tree. 2 berries or 3 on the topmost branch, 4 or 5 on the boughs of the crown, declares the Lord, the God of Israel. Okay. Anybody want to take a stab before we carry on? Who are we talking to? What is the problem? Damascus is where? Capital of which town? City? Country? Assyria? Syria. Okay, so we have a link. Alright, so we're talking about Syria. So Damascus and the Syrians are in trouble. Who else was involved?
The seed of Jacob.
Which part? Remember, you've got Northern Kingdom and you've got Southern.
No, it has to be the northern because Damascus is in the north.
Ah, but is Damascus part of, or is it a separate?
Talking about Ephraim, which of
Ephraim.
is the northern kingdom.
Right, it mentions Ephraim, and that is the buzzword for the northern kingdom of Israel. Right? So we know something went wrong with Syria and Israel, and you want to go back into your notes and you want to have a look. And it says God is very angry because He's gonna make your stuff all deserted and broken, and everything's gonna dwindle and get lean, and it's not gonna be good, and you're gonna be gleaning. What does it mean to glean?
Because the smaller, but
It's what's left.
yeah.
Okay, remember, you go and you harvest, and the mitzvah in Torah says, leave the edges of your field so that the poor may come and pick up what's left. If you've got 3 grains and you drop 1 ear of corn or something like that, leave it. The poor need that, carry on. So when you're gleaning, does that mean you guys are living in prosperity or you're struggling?
Begin the scraps.
You are trying to just get by. Okay? In that day, verse 7, men shall turn to their Maker, their eyes to the Holy One of Israel. They shall not turn to the altars and their own hands have made, or look at the sacred post and incense stands that their fingers have wrought. So, okay, we've got idolatry. In that day, their fortress cities shall be like the deserted sites which the Horesh of the Amir abandoned because of the Israelites. There shall be desolation. Truly you have forgotten the God who saves you, and have not remembered the rock who shelters you. That is why though you plant a delightful sapling, what do you have there as a translation?
Pleasant plant.
Why you plant a pleasant plant? What you sow proves a disappointing seed. On that day you plant, you see it grow. On the morning you sow and see it bud. But the branches wither away on a day of sickness and mortal agony. The roar of many people, the roar of roars of the sea, the rage of nations that rage, a rage of the mighty waters. Can you remember which nation kind of said that we are so powerful, we are like mighty waters that come through?
Syria.
Assyria.
Sorry.
Okay, so we know that Syria and Israel are in naughtiness because later God is going to use Assyria to come down. Should give you more or less a time. Okay? Before.
Well, yeah, sorry, they came in again, right? It took a while, I guess, to go
Nations raging like massive waters. But he shouts at them, and they shall flee far away, driven like chaff before the winds in the hills, and like tumbleweed before the gale, and even tide no terror. By morning it is no more. Such is the lot of the despoilers, this portion, the portion of them that plunder us.
Wasn't it when Ahab was scared that the Syrians come down and he went to get help from Egypt? And then the God said to him, don't worry, because he was going to protect them. But then he still went.
Anybody have an idea? Maybe he's holding back.
What about
I
that?
was also gonna say Ahaz, but I don't know.
Is it Ahaz or Ahab?
Very good.
Ahaz is a bad king.
We have a section in Kings that talks about the story.
Yes, I know.
And which story are we talking about? Oh, we're listening to Proverbs tonight, right?
I know God says he will protect them. I can't remember if it was Ahab or Ahaz.
First Kings or Second Kings?
Second Kings.
First Kings, Second Kings.
Don't
Pretending to learn now?
I never.
Who's going to bribe the birthday girl so that she can help you out?
It's not with that. I don't have to say anything.
I don't remember. No, it's a protest. It's in Second Kings.
Second Kings what?
I think it's by 2 Kings 17, where it's the Astorum begin. It's actually when Hoshea is reigning over Israel. Then
Is
Syria coming down to his.
that your final answer?
Yes, that's my final answer. Yes,
What did you
because
say?
Jan says Egypt. Yes, that's my final answer.
Why are you talking about Egypt when we're talking about Damascus?
Because
Why are you talking about Syria?
talking about when they were going to fight Egypt, then Syria came down and they joined forces.
Uh-huh. Against?
Egypt. No.
Who went up against Egypt?
Israel and
But I thought that God was going to use Assyria. So Assyria is actually the key point here.
No, but
okay.
Assyria.
Okay.
Doesn't it? Oh no, but even later on in Assyria, Israel come together. They want. Oh.
And Syria and
Remember, there are some days of the year
conspiracy
once
by
you put
Isaiah.
another king in
Well, he
order
had
once
sent
you go to-
messages. So the king of Egypt.
Against?
Yeah, so to guys against it was Egypt and
I'm going to give you guys a clue. Chapter 7 and chapter 8. I'm not going to tell you.
wait, Syria and Israel go up against Judah.
No, it is
16
Ahaz,
verse
sorry,
5.
my
So 2 Kings chapter verse 5.
Tell me the story this week.
And this correlates with Isaiah 7. Okay. Why don't they, I don't know, Syria plus Israel got up against Judah because they wanted to take Judah. I'm going to check it.
Read it in English.
16. Then raised the king of Syria and Pekah, the son of Ben-Yehah, the king of Israel, came up to Jerusalem to make war. And they besieged Ahaz, but could not overcome him.
Why? Why did they want to take on Ahaz?
Ahaz didn't want to help them
Help them
go up against Assyria. Ahaz didn't want to help them go up to Syria because he was like, I'm happy with myself, I don't want to cause trouble.
And who was actually with Syria? There was 3 here.
Egypt, wasn't it?
Persia.
No. Wasn't that
One
one?
Egypt.
Aram.
Aram and Syria made a coalition, and then they said, okay, Israel, are you with us? And remember, he said, I don't think so. And when Assyria came down, because they were actually trying to get him to trust on their coalition, trying to trust on their own hands, instead of trusting in God, remember what Ahaz did? What did Ahaz do?
Did he go to? Oh, he went to Egypt, and he wanted Egypt to help them. But God said, "You mustn't worry because we will take care of it, and you just trust them." And so on.
So you have the background. Don't just look at this and go, oh, Damascus is in trouble and that's what's going on. Why would God send such a serious proclamation against a nation? What did they do that was so bad to Israel? I'm talking about the entirety as a people.
Didn't they break down the temple?
Well, one, they kind of led them astray with, there was, you know, just the pagan altars and things like
What
that.
did Syria do so badly?
No, what Syria and what those guys did, they were pushing Israel as a nation. Okay? Remember, they were going in deep idolatry at the time. Alright? When it talks about, you plant a delightful tree. Other translations will say a delightful sapling. Right? They would plant trees or gardens for worship because of pagan fertility rites. Okay? So they were leading the nations astray, and they were leading Israel astray, and Israel was learning to rely on them, and they were insisting, and then you remember they said, okay, Ahaz, if you're not going to help us, then we're going to come down and do what?
We're going to replace, they wanted to replace him.
Exactly. They wanted to take him out of power, and they wanted to replace him with someone who was going to form an allegiance so they could go deal with Assyria. And God said, well, you're trying to get them to rely on you, I'm going to use Assyria to come down and get you for that. Okay? I'm going to show you who's God. I'm going to show you, remember, biblically speaking, it is not what, you know, we have this picture of God in his out there-ness. And it's all kind of airy-fairy. Biblically, when we started looking at sort of things, it was, we are powerful because our God is powerful. It's what he did for us that made us who we are. The land is fertile because our God is fertile. We are blessed because our God controls us, and we keep him happy so he keeps us full. You want lots of babies? You worship the fertility gods. You want good crops? You worship the fertility gods. And remember the mindset. You come out of the desert. You cross the Jordan River. And then all of a sudden you walk a couple of steps in and it starts to become lush and beautiful. And you only ever see things like that here. There's no Nile here. This is no Delta. This is not Egypt. There are sections out there that are so beautiful and fertile. And you're thinking, did our God cross over with us? Because our God was really powerful in the wilderness, but I don't know if he's going to be very powerful here. You know, when we grow politically and our army gets strong, it's because the God of Syria and Aram, and remember Ahaz was worshipping gods that came out of Phoenicia. Remember Jezebel? Because of their power and their blessings and their gospel. You know, you don't want to just go to the wilderness, this ancient God. We're not in the wilderness anymore.
Yeah, he took them there to the promised land.
And remember what he said. Just remember, it's me who put you here. It's me that will give you your early lanes, your late lanes. I will make sure you have enough grain, wine, and oil. It's all in the Shema. Don't you forget it for a second. But the enticement of other nations and how powerful they are doesn't control the world. It's like me wanting to become an American because I think their armies are awesome. And forgetting that, well, actually, it's not their army that wins anything. It's God who allows them to. He will use this tool to get people to focus on him and understand. Make sense? Alright. Let's do some more Proverbs. Chapter 18. Land in the deep, the shadows of the wings, beyond the rivers of Nubia. Nubia?
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. Okay, in Ethiopia, Kush, in other sections, modern day, Sudan. Ethiopia across, maybe. Alright? So let's see that region.
So is that everything? One day Sudan, what happens is Ethiopia? Not the same.
That's
Territories different.
variation in countries. Okay? So I put it to you on the one hand and on the other hand. Alright?
You put it to us.
I put it to you. So we're going to go with Ethiopia, otherwise known as Kush. We just say,
Yeah.
who Kushite in Torah?
This is more.
Yay! Name? Zipporah.
A what? A Kushite.
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 Ethiopian, in other words. Moses liked him some chocolate. Okay?
Well, he was from, yeah.
He was more candy. Like a dog on its rabbit.
Candy. That's green.
Maybe when he was very sick. Alright. In the deep shadows of the wings, beyond the rivers of Libya, go swift messengers to a nation, far and remote, to a people thrust forth away, a nation of Gibber and Chet, whose land is cut off by streams, which sends out inwards by sea, in papyrus vessels upon the water. Say this, all you who live in the world and inhabit the earth, when the flag is raised in the hills, take note. What does the flag symbolize?
It's a banner.
It's a banner. Banner, which means it could be your God, right? When a ram's horn is blown, give heed. Ram's horn? Who blows a ram's horn? It's the shofar, right? Israel, right? For thus the Lord said to me, I rest calm and confident in my habitation. That's the verse I wanted to give you yesterday.
This one.
I love that. Make a little note if you want.
This dwelling place thing is a favorite topic of Joseph Prince's.
Verse 4, second line in my Bible. Thus says the Lord, I rest calm and confident in my habitation, in my dwelling, where I am.
Mine says, also the Lord said to me, I will take my rest. I will look down, I look from my dwelling place, like clear heating sunshine, like a cloud of blue heating clouds.
He is comfortable where he is. What does that tell you?
He's not worried.
God is
He's in control of everything.
God is in
He doesn't need
control.
to stress about anything.
So why be stressing?
So why you should see? So many of the and there's a lot of things going on in many different people's lives, and we are all having a little freak out about something. And you're sitting there going, "How are we going to do this, Lord? I don't see the way. What are you doing?" And then I was sitting here having a look at exchange rates and Israel tours and things with bad debt and customers and payments and all these things that are going on in my life, and I'm sitting there going, "Okay, I don't see how you're going to do this, but I'm trusting that you're going to." And just when you have a little moment of, I don't know how you can do this, you still got me right. You get a verse like this. Say, I haven't forgotten who I am.
Why are you?
I'm sitting here on my throne, looking down at everything, in control. Making the calls to where I need you to be, changing you to what I want you to be, holding up my hand to get you to where you need to be, and preparing the place and the people so that you may receive what you need to receive. I've already gone out ahead of you. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. It is one of the most awesome revelations that just keeps on needing to be reminded. Just because you don't see how the river is going to open up doesn't mean he ain't going to do it. Just because you see big walls in Jericho doesn't mean that those walls are not going to fall. Whatever is going on in your life, we need to remember, because we have given everything to God, it's His problem. Yes, we make mistakes. Yes, the world is not perfect, but once we hand even our mistakes to Him, He can make it into the most beautiful blessings in the world. And He will lift it up and He will make it to what it needs to be. This is exactly what needs to be reminded. When you go through everything and you're sitting here having your freak out, go outside, look up, and you realize what God says. I haven't forgotten who I am. Don't you worry about it.